Hi everyone, Erica here with Fibersandfloss Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in today and choosing to connect with me with your time. I know all of our time is precious, so I do really truly appreciate that. For any returning viewers, it means the world to me that you keep coming back and watching this cross-stitching journey. And any new subscribers, a very big warm welcome from me. So today I thought I would dive right in and just share with you what I'm going to be reviewing in this episode, and then we're just gonna hop right to it. So today for cross stitch, I have no new starts or finishes, but I do have 5 works in progress. This year for me is all about giving those whips a little extra love and helping to move a lot of those along. So I have that. I have my Flosstubeversity where I talk about my most recent episode and then what one is coming up next and the date for that. We also have Community Corner with a couple stitchy meetups if you're a local. I have a giveaway, 3 giveaway winners actually to announce. I have some knitting to share with you, and I wanted to mention a free pattern that has been shared on Instagram as well. So if that sounds good, I hope you guys stick around, and yeah, let's get to it. So I always start off my episodes with Book of Days, just sharing, you know, this is from Needlework Press. It is a way for me to like record or journal what I am stitching. And so this is my month of January so far. I'm quite happy with it. Of course, the hearts are any stitchy meetup dates with friends where I can do some sort of crafting. So, you know, to me, that means a lot. Being able to get together and see some people in person is really nice. These are all of my whips, and I'm thinking maybe changing things. So I usually have all my whips listed here, and you guys can see how tiny that has gotten, so I can fit them all in there. But I'm thinking about, I have a master list in the back of the book, but just maybe writing down the whips, only the whips that I have touched in that month. I saw somebody else do that and I thought I really like that, so maybe that's something I might evolve to doing in February. Now for February, I was thinking I'd like to decorate it, but I want some really great like vintage, you know, Valentine's stickers. So if you guys know of any you can recommend, please leave me a comment. I would love that. I'd love like a sticker store, you know, if there's a place where you can go and just get some really great stickers that are appropriate for journaling, that would be amazing. So if you know of any or any online, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so for stitching. Now, everybody knows that I started Chatelaine for January 1st, along with a few other stitchers. We're all diving in on our first one. The one I chose to do is called the Holland Springtime Garden Mandala. And this one here has been really fun. You know, I did choose it because we do have some Dutch heritage in our family, so that holds a special place in my heart. And I just love the colors, you know, the Delft blue, and you know, when you look at it, with the mandalas, you know, I would struggle if all 4 quadrants were the same, and this one, they're different. They do have some similarities, but you know, the big main parts are all different, and the little Delft tiles, they're all different as well. So I can't wait to get into that. Now, let me show you what I've done. Luckily, what I didn't realize is that when this was made, it was actually made for a class. So it is split up into monthly assignments. So I was able to finish the first monthly assignment, which is January, and I'll show you where I'm at. This is a huge piece. This is huge, right? Massive piece of lugana, 32 count, even weave. It's just white Zweigart. There is no, it's, you know, no one special. So this is where I'm at here. Look at that, you guys. I did decide to put the beads in. I wasn't sure if I would or not. I know usually when I'm working, I'm gonna try and move it a bit so you can see the sparkle. Usually when I'm working on a fancy lady, like one of my Mirabilias, I don't bead right away. I save my beading for last. But when I looked at the class assignment, it did say to go ahead and put in any of your crystals, gems, sparkles, any of the braids. And so I decided I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it as the class is written. The only one I didn't put in was a cube. So there's a big navy Swarovski cube that goes in the middle here. I have it. I've taken some pictures with it just laid on top, and it looks fabulous. The reason why I didn't put it in though is because I do want to, as this evolves, I think it's about 27 inches by 27 inches, something like that when it's finished. So I'm going to need to be able to put it on a scroll rod. And while these, like the small bicones and the seed beads, I think will be fine, the cube is actually 0.8. So it's like 0.8 of a centimeter. It's quite big, and I think that could cause some issues. So I'm gonna leave that to last. Anyways, I really love this. I'm gonna put a little clip in here because I made an Instagram short, a reel, of my 1 month assignment. So it's 1 month's worth of stitching into like, I think 25 seconds or something. So I'm gonna pop that in here for you guys to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I should say for my Chatelaine, everything that I'm using for it is the called for. I'm not making any substitutions or conversions. Yeah, so if you're interested and you're starting your first Chatelaine, you're sharing it to Instagram, please tag me. I would absolutely love to see your progress. I think it'd be really great. Okay, my second project I've been working on. I've been diving into Elizabeth Furniss, 1836. This is Hands Across the Sea. This is a project that I had started in September, and I did a full conversion to 103s. I've talked a lot about this already, so I'm not going to dive into it. Just again, a big thank you to everyone in the community that helped me with that conversion, since I don't have an LNS close to me. There's quite a few people that helped with that. So I want to share where I have got to with this. I have been motivated to stitch on this. I wanted to get back to it, and Sarah, Lady Lugana, she started a hashtag hats off to 2025, and it is for the year of 2025 for everyone to work on their hats samplers, or Hands Across the Sea samplers. So if you're working on one and you're posting it, make sure you use the hashtag so we can see what you guys are working on. Here's a picture of where I was last time. And what I've done is, I think about 3 days, I worked quite a decent amount on it. When I say that, that's probably, 2 to 3.5 hours, something like that. And then after that time, I've made this a daily thread for myself for the month of January, because I really want to get some good progress on it. So this is where I'm at now, and it's still on this huge frame. Look at that. So this here, I can get right out and get really nice and close for you guys. You can see that okay. This is stitched on 56 count, and it is, oh, I have to think now. It's by Tabby Cat, but I am drawing a blank as to which linen it is. So I will put it on the screen for you guys. Actually, I'll just put it in the detail box down below. It's been really fun. I wasn't sure about the 56 count. I am loving it. The tiny stitches are fantastic. And, you get into a rhythm where I have no problem seeing 56 now. When I initially did a trial run on a different piece of just, I think it was Kingston linen I had, and I did the red line all the way across the top and back in a DMC to see if it would work, and it was too thick. I mean, it worked, but if it was full coverage, or like, a dense part, like with the grass in the bottom here or the house, it would be too thick of a thread. And when I was doing that, I thought, oh, 56 is hard. Like, I'm missing, little fine threads going up and down. It's easy to miss. But now I'm into this habit of stitching on it, and it's actually gotten easier over the last month. So if it's something you guys are, contemplating doing, I think you should. I do recommend giving it a try. That being said, I do have a magnifying lamp that I started out using all the time. Now, in the daytime, in the natural light with no, household lights on, I can stitch on this without any magnification. It's fine. but at night, there's no way. I have to use my magnifying light, otherwise I can't see a thing. So yeah, I love it. I think it's looking really good. With the tree here, this far side is completely finished. The top is completely finished. And now I just have this little bit of a branch here. And then I have to wonder, I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go. So I was messaging with Barrie of Stitch Folk, and she has actually gone, we both started in the center. She's restarted this. She had previously stitched part of it and decided she wanted to restart it. So kudos to her to restarting such a big project. But she's started in the center as well, and then she's gone down into the house, and part of me wants to do that because it is a huge house. I think it's about 100 and something stitches across. It's pretty big, or maybe it's 90 by about 60 or 70, I think. And so when I look at that, I think, should I just dive into that just to kind of get going on it? Do you know what I mean? Because then that way, you know, I can break when I'm sick and tired of that like dense stitching and go up and work into the border. And if you look at the top here too, do you see how there is that like the center part with Elizabeth Furniss, age 13 years. And so I'm thinking of stitching that outline so I can hop up and start on the border. I have actually reached out to the attic and I've ordered Swasserfine for the verse, because a lot of it is 1/1 and 1/1 on 56 count. Although Audrey from Stitch Bead assures me it's fine with Swasserfine, I'm not looking forward to it. I wanted to mention there's a free pattern being offered on Instagram right now by Jo Florence. And so on Instagram, it's at JoFlorence8. She is lovely. The stuff she posts, you guys should definitely follow her. Her posts are so inspiring. You know, every time I look at it, I want to stitch more. I want to stitch more samplers and all the things, which of course I can't do, but I would love to do it. And she just released this lovely new pattern. And I think it's fantastic in time for Valentine's Day too. There's a little man and a woman in the middle with a heart. And then a sampler. And so all you need to do to get the pattern is send her an email, and the email is joepitstall, I don't know how to pronounce, I'm sorry, @gmail.com. And if you send her that email, she'll send you the pattern. And I had a good laugh because our printer right now has like this blue streak in it. And so I sent it to my husband at work. I said, can you print this for me? And he said, sure, yeah, no problem. So he comes home. It's on the counter. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he says, why are there letters? Like, why is there an alphabet in what you're stitching? And I thought, oh, like I have stitched for 30 years and I guess he's never noticed samplers have alphabets in them. I had a moment, I chuckled to myself and I thought, because it's a sampler. Samplers have alphabets. I love samplers. You don't know that yet? Anyways. Had a good chuckle over it. So my next one I have for you. I decided that on the 6th, my birthday is on the 16th of April, and last year I had started a birthday stitch, as many of us do, but it just hasn't got a lot of stitches in throughout the year. So I have decided, in the name of 2025, trying to move some whips along and give them some love, that the 16th of every month I'd work on my birthday stitch. So because this is an out of print pattern, and I got it off a lady who didn't have the cover picture anymore, I'll insert a picture here. And this is Fairy Idyll by Mirabilia. And I am really dying to get into that. The bedpost, the canopy, the chandelier, I think would be lovely to get into. I can't wait. And so I'm really looking forward to working on it on the 16th of every month. I think I'll be able to make some really good progress this year. So here's a picture of where I was after my 12 by 12. I did choose to put an hour in for my New Year's Eve stitching. And then this is a piece that I've been stitching in hand. So let me just show you where I'm at now. So I've gotten this far with her, and all that pink and white there, I did in a day. And for my day, I should say, I didn't stitch in exclusively for the whole day. I think I put about 2.5 hours, if I remember correctly, of stitching into that. But of course, stitching in hand is a lot quicker than, you know, stitching in frame or on hoop, right? So yeah, I really love her. And I don't know why, if you guys have followed me, for some reason, a lot of my mirrors that I choose have a ton of this yellow and white. And I was really looking forward to getting out of this yellow and white and getting into some color. I think I have a couple now, 2, 3, that are all in the yellow and white phase. And I just would like to get out of that phase sooner than later. So I'm really excited. I absolutely love that. Oh, there was something on here, but it's just some fluff. Had me worried there was something pink over here. Yeah, I really love her. I actually have a pattern. Is it? I can't remember which one it is now. I have one. I'm gonna have to, I'll put a picture here. I said when I get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna kit her and give her away. And you know, I kind of thought to myself, oh, I've got some time. I'm about 4,500. I can, you know, I've got some time to start saving up and order her probably February, March, and maybe in the spring I can give her away. But I've had a lot of new subscribers in the last month and a bit. And so I'm almost at 5,000 now, which now has me a bit panicked, right? I have to try and locate all this kreinik and, you know, the things that are hard to get. So I'm in the process of kitting her up this week, and possibly on my next video, I might be giving her away. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you like, subscribe. We can get that count up to 5,000 and then I can give it away to you guys. That would be really exciting. I should say for this one here too, this is stitched on 32 count Mirage by Picture This Plus. It is a linen, and I'm using all the called for floss, including the number 8 braid, which went right in here. This is actually number 8, not number 4. So it's a little bit, it's quite a bit thicker. You see, it's twice as thick as the number 4, but I've opted to go with it because of the texture. In between here though, I have to say there is a lot of beads that sits in there. And so I just have to give it a go, but I suspect I'm going to have to replace the Mill Hill beads for petite, like the seed beads for petite beads, just so they kind of nestle in there nicer. So we'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Okay, the next project I worked on was Dutch Beauty. For some reason in January, I'm really feeling my samplers. I feel like it's Sampler September, but it's January. It's the wrong month. So Dutch Beauty, I think a lot of us know Dutch Beauty. She's quite a popular stitch, but she's a huge girl. I think she's almost 700 stitches across. Yeah, she's definitely a BAP for sure. It's something I have started 2 years ago. Yeah, at the end of 2023, I started it. Could it have been 22? You know what? It's in my book of days. 1 second, I'll tell you. And I'm really enjoying it, but I do want to, again, common theme this year is move it along a little bit quicker than previously. And so I plan on logging some extra stitches. 2022, October of 2022. So it's been 2 full years and a little bit. So this is where I was before. And she's getting hard to take pictures of because she's so big. And this is where I'm at. I chose not to board up all my stuff today because I just didn't have a lot of time to prep, which is why I'm filming down here in my craft space too. Didn't have time to haul everything upstairs. So this is where I got to here. My goal for January is to get another page finish actually. And it's basically that archway there that you're seeing with the 2 gentlemen holding their grapes, making some wine. And then it just goes a little bit past the archway, not much, I think about another 15, 20 stitches there. So I'm really I mean, I enjoy it. I love this piece, but I really struggled this time around. And I think it's because of the colors. And I've talked about this before. You know, I love bright colors, and it's just a really muted color palette. And if you look closely, I mean, I was stitching a lot of creams, greens, you know, creamy greens. It was just not really doing anything for me. I was actually really hoping there'd be some pink thrown in there, but that wasn't the case. So this is where, look at this whole piece, you guys, look at that. It's gonna be huge. If you wanna see it finished and hanging, Fox and Rabbit, they have it right behind them when they're filming on the wall. It's definitely, and it goes almost, look at that, almost right to the end of that fabric. So this 40 count Platinum Newcastle by Zweigart, I can't remember the size, this has to be a half yard, and it goes like from edge to edge. It definitely takes up a lot of fabric for sure. It's funny, I was watching Contented Needlework Kim, and I don't know why I've never thought about this before, but you know how she likes to stitch parts of patterns. So instead of stitching this huge pattern, she'll say, oh, I just really like the deer, and she'll stitch that, just the deer. And I don't know why I've never thought about doing that, but I'm really drawn to the idea right now. I think, you know, I watched her whip parade as well, and I think I have 3 things sitting in a cart where, you know, I said I'm going to be really mindful with my purchases in 2025, and so I didn't hit purchase. It's just sitting there right now. So there's a couple that, you know, bird patterns that she shared that I really, really loved. And actually, oddly enough, a piece that she did stitch the full piece, and I thought I'd love to do just the birds on the bottom. So I might take a page out of her book sooner than later and go ahead and do that. Yeah, so anyways, for Dutch Beauty, the threads are the called for threads. Yeah, maybe I should have spiced them up a little bit, but I didn't, and so there's no turning back now. I've put in way too much work into that. Okay, so my very last piece that I worked on in terms of cross stitch this month was a new start in December for me. So I did the Reflet de Soie Advent box, and if you guys have followed along, you know all about that catastrophe. And the one good thing that did come out of it was this pattern. This is Célie Courbis by Reflet de Soie. I like it, it's good, but you know, it is stitching up rather big. It is, I'm stitching on 40. It's 256 by 235, and it is coming out quite large. And it makes me think maybe I should have done 56. I like the 56 because it makes everything just a little bit daintier, right? So this is a really nice pattern. It is monochromatic. The called for floss is the Soie d'Alger in 946. So, and I forgot when I started this, one of the things for my Flossmas, I actually did their advent, but then I did a custom curated advent that I designed with stuff that I wanted to sample or try out, or, you know, all those little treasures you'd like to get, but you just don't buy for yourself throughout the course of the year. And one of the things was a package of a Versoix floss from Embroidery Marketplace. She buys these little bags, and it has all the different weights in there. I think there's like 6 different ones maybe. And so while I didn't have the called for red floss, I thought, what's in that bag? And because it was, the theme was red. And so I went and opened out the bag, and I happened to have the 946 Soie d'Alger. And so perfect. So I started it. But that being said, I forgot I should order some more. So when I talked to the attic this week, I had them pop a few more in the bag for me so I can finish that. So this pattern so far, it is being stitched on 40 count sand, and I picked that up at Thread Needle Street in Issaquah, and in brackets it says sand brackets new, but it didn't give me the dyer, so I'm not sure who the dyer is. Anyways, here's a picture of where I was before. And I've only worked on this for 2 additional days, and this is where I'm at right now. So what I'm loving is getting into those, you know, the curly French letters. Look at the other one, the ABC. I love that. So beautiful. It's looking a little dark here in my camera, but it's the 946 is actually quite a bit brighter. Yeah, so I am 25% done. It will be a little bit, yeah, a little bit larger. So this is where it would have been nice to have it, you know, use a smaller count, but it's already a 40, and I don't, as much as I'm enjoying the 56, I truly am enjoying it. I don't think I'd want to have too many projects on the go that's a 56, especially, you know, once the count is getting above 250, it's getting into be a larger size piece, and yet I feel like I need to be mindful of that, because while I can work on it now, maybe I won't be able to work on it in, you know, 2 years, right? So I'll have to be able to complete all those pieces sooner than later, which is motivating for me for my Elizabeth Furniss. Okay, so my plans for cross stitch for the month of February. So I am going to go ahead with my Chatelaine and work on month 2 assignment. And so that's really adding the extra border in. Sorry for the crinkle. I probably should take it out, but I'm leaving it in. And so I've done the very centerpiece here, but what we're looking at is, just see, if I can get to focus, let's see. It doesn't want to really focus for me, but right around that center box, just where that white ring is, there is a whole bunch of tulips and windmills. And so I'm going to work on that this month. And I think, you know, when I look at it, there's a lot of like backstitch black work. And so I think it should go by quite quickly. So I will do that, and I'll start number 2 for the Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs. Is that Blackbird? I'm having a moment. I think so. I can't remember. Anyways, I'm going to start that. And then I want to really, one of my Christmas gifts was this pattern here. So the pattern wasn't a Christmas gift, but everything for it was. So this is Reflet de Soie, and it is Yvonne Leclerc, 1905. Look at that border, you guys. That is what I'm dying to stitch. Look at that right there. You have your birds. There's 4 birds at the top, more birds throughout it. You have a scenery piece, you've got some alphabet, but the border, look at that. The dog at the bottom, the butterfly, 2 dogs at the bottom. I think this is a really beautiful piece. It's 317 by 327. So again, quite large. I have this knack for like, let's do all the big things, right? And so for one of my Christmas gifts, since my husband said, let's buy our own gifts this year, and I said, sure. Is I purchased all this thread. So what I want to do is do my own conversion for it, because I love the bright colors. And when I looked online and saw the DMC being stitched up as well as the swaddle J, which is called for, it doesn't look quite as bright as what is on that cover photo. So I don't know, I thought, well, this could be really fun. And then of course I've ordered, couldn't decide, so from Kitten Stitcher I ordered the majority of this, but then also 2 fabric choices, so this purple or this pink. And let me show it to you. I'll pause so you don't have to listen to the crinkle. Well, now that I've taken the fabric out, I film on my phone, so unfortunately, I can't tell you too much about these other than these options are both 40 count. This one here is called Plum Tuckered Out, this dark purple. And then this one here is Brick Powder. And I can't remember who the dyers were. One was XJU, and I think that was the Brick Powder, but I can't remember off the top of my head who did the Plum Tuckered Out. But it's a known dyer. I remember when I saw it, I thought, oh, I've never tried their stuff before. So I need to really just take some time when I feel like I'm in a creative space to decide on, you know, working on this conversion, working between the 2 color choices, and just playing around with the threads and see what that looks like. And I love that process, but it definitely is it's a process. I've taken this out of the bag, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a whole bunch of little like dust particles floating in the air from pulling this out of the bag that had all the threads in it. I hope that's not distracting for you. It is for me. Okay, so Flosstubeversity. Now, I released a much anticipated video on how to stitch faster and more efficiently, and that was uploaded last Tuesday. What I'm trying to do this year is go back to weekly videos, so having alternating. 1 week will be a Flosstubeversity, and Flosstubeversity, for anyone who is new here, you know, that's just to review some skills that we have, or perhaps some new skills, as well as different techniques and stuff like that. And then I have series 2 on stitching particular designers' pieces. So I know after my last one, I have quite a few more subscribers. So thank you if you're here because of that. I hope you enjoy the regular floss tubes as well. But the idea with the Flosstubeversity is just to help to pass on some knowledge for people, and some of that knowledge too, I'm learning along the way, right? Because I put a little research time into it, and you know, I pick up tips and tricks as well as I'm researching, as well as, you know, what I've experienced throughout the year. So I think that one went over quite well. It seemed to be fairly well received. So if you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it here for you. And then there was a follow-up question. So one of the ladies had said, if she has, you know, let's say you have a card. Let's say you have some, what is this? Gentle Art thread. Okay, it comes on a card, and you don't know. We were talking about directional thread. So all thread is directional, right? And it's easy to identify which direction to sew with, if it's coming off a spool or if it's coming off a hank or a skein. However, if you get something like this that's already cut and you think, I don't know which is the right way, what you can do is you have to have really good feeling and sensation in your fingers. And as we get older, that does diminish. So give it a go and see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, no big deal, right? But if you have the feeling in your fingers and you can tell, then that will definitely help you out for sure. So you just want to hold it between your index and your thumb and just give it like a light pinch and pull it through. You'd need a single fiber. I'm showing you with like a whole bunch, and that's not going to work. But you're going to pull it through, and you can really feel the texture and feel the bumps, and just pay attention to like how smooth is that versus how bumpy. And then take the same piece of floss and go in the other direction. I can tell this direction is much, much smoother. So in that case, when I'm running my fingers from top to bottom and it's smooth, the needle is going to be threaded on the top of this end of the floss, and then that's the end you're going to sew with. So that's the end that's going to be going through your work, if that makes sense. I thought it might be easier to show because it's hard to write that down in directions, right? Some people make at that, and other people might be even more confused than not. So hopefully that helps to clarify things for anyone else that had the same question. I know there's about 8 people that asked that question in the comments, so hopefully that helps you guys out. My next one that I'm uploading, which will be on the 4th of February, and that one is going to be stitching in hand. So there's a few different ways to stitch in hand, but I'm going to share the way my mother taught me to stitch in hand, and it's the same way that I've taught a few of my friends to stitch as well. I really enjoy stitching in hand. It's definitely comfort stitching for me. That being said, I stitch in hoop and in frame as well. So it just kind of depends on the piece that I'm doing, the method I'm doing, and how, you know, what I'm wanting to get out of that piece. Is it, you know, productivity? Is it the process? All those things I'll discuss in that video. So if you guys are interested, make sure you turn on the notifications so that you don't miss that video. That'll be the February the 4th I'll release that. All right, so giveaway winners. Now, the last video I had 3 giveaways. I'm just gonna grab it for you. Now, I had 2 patterns from this fall that I had given away during a whip parade, and people didn't claim them. So lucky you guys, it's back up again for a new giveaway. So the first one here is by, oh, it's still in one of those. I can't show you the pattern, right? So, well, like that. This is Told in a Garden, and I can't remember what this one is called, but something, Amish Quilt Sampler. There you go. And so this one's actually a really fun piece, and it's stitched on a lugana as well. And it was, I think it called for 28 count. I did a 32 count, but it was a piece that was easy to stitch. I flew through it. I had so much fun. Right now, I have used the YouTube random comment picker. There were 84 entries, and the winner with the keyword quilt was at Feedy64. So congratulations. If that is you, please send me an email to fibersandfloss@gmail.com, and I'll pop that in the mail to you right away. The next one I have is an Owl Forest embroidery, and this one here is called Christmas Birds. And the code word for it, I think, was owl, for Owl Forest embroidery. For this one, I had 134 entries, and the winner is Green Goddess Plants and Seeds. So if that is you, congratulations. Again, you can send me an email to fibersandfloss@gmail.com, and I'll pop it in the mail to you. Okay, now the last giveaway was a special giveaway. So I was contacted by Kensington Prairie Farms. They are just around the corner, a long corner from me. They're also in the country area where I live. And they have sent me this poncho, which is made from baby alpaca, which is on their farm. They do raise the alpacas and they shear them, and then they send their fiber off for processing. And there, if you're interested in more, you can watch the most recent video. That I think it's the first video for January. I talk about everything they offer at the farm, from like a shopping boutique to events to, you can participate in the shearing. You can go do private walks with the alpacas. They have camels, they have chickens, they have everything there. So it's a fun place to go. Take the kids, take the grandkids, pack a picnic, spend the day. Anyways, they have donated this here. I think it's absolutely lovely, super soft, and I thought I could pass it on to a viewer so someone else can appreciate some of their products. I do have a few things of theirs personally that I already wear, love. They are so soft and warm, and just, about keeping it local too, right? Being able to, raise an animal, shear the animal, send that fiber for processing, and then, making this is a poncho, and it's all hand painted. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there's a bunch of different ways to wear it as well. So the winner for this one here, I had 208 entries for it, so it was a popular item, and that's going to go to Makes Stitches. So if that's you, congratulations. You can send me an email as well, and I'm going to get that out into the mail to you right away. Okay, so the last thing for cross stitch is cross stitch community, or community corner, I've been calling this segment. So this is where I share a couple things that are happening around me, where if people would like to hook up and meet other stitchers, it's a great place to go. So our next Stitchers at the Library is February the 15th, and that is in Surrey. So I live in Abbotsford, which is part of the Vancouver greater area, and Surrey is a nice central location. It's on, public transit, it's easy to get to, and mamabear.stitching is the one that organizes Stitchers at the Library. So if you guys are available and you want to pop down for September, I don't even know where that came from, February the 15th, please do so. I think it would be a lot of fun, and always love to meet more Stitchers. We're having more Stitchers join every month, so it's a really great event. The next one is February the 22nd. We're going to be doing a lunch as well. That one, the location I'm not sharing online, but if you're interested in that, send me an email to fibersandfloss@gmail.com, and I can give you more information. I think right now we have about 10 to 12 people coming maybe for that one. It'll be really fun. I know the Thread Gremlins are going to join, and xstitch everything. I don't know if Megan from the Seattle Stitcher is coming to that one. She's had a lot of family stuff happening recently, so waiting to hear back from her on that one, I think. But Michaela from Cinematic Stitches, Manveer, of course, Mama Bear Stitching, and then also some other local stitchers will be attending as well. So if you're interested and you're around, or if you're from out of town and you happen to be in town that day, send me an email. Come join us. It'll be really fun. All right, so now let's just shift focus a little bit into some knitting. And so if you're here just for cross stitch and you want to take off, thank you so much for spending some time. It means a lot to me that you're willing to connect and share your time with me. And if you're here and you want to know a little bit more about some knitting, or you're interested, I have one project to share on some haul, so it won't take long at all. All right, for my knitting, I was continuing to work on those free slippers. Now, because I bought this yarn, this is not fancy yarn. This was the Karen Cakes Yarn Inspirations, just from Michael's. It was like $12 for this huge ball, and it was kind of a last minute, whatever, if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. It's only 12 bucks, right? And I made some slippers for my kids, and I shared that in a previous one. And I had enough left over, and I thought I'm gonna do some color block slippers for myself and just use it up. So this pattern here, I've written it down so I can share it with you. Oh, but I didn't write down the name. I'll put the name here. I can't believe I forgot the name. It's by Woolen Tales, and they're on Ravelry. It does use size 6 US 4 needles. This one here, this fiber is a blend. It's 20% wool, 80% acrylic, which is kind of crazy to have that much acrylic. But anyways, I thought it would be good for slippers. It'd be perfect. So I went ahead and knit up a pair for myself, and they are huge, but they are so like cushy, and they feel almost like brioche because they're so thick, and I'm just not used to knitting something with such well, I say it's a heavyweight because I'm used to knitting with fingerling, but it calls for like a DK worsted weight. So yeah, those are them. So I'm excited to wear them. They're definitely comfortable, and they're surprisingly warm. I guess maybe it's just that 20%. I don't know if that does that. I mean, 20% isn't much, right? But I've actually to take them off my feet because my feet get too hot. So it's definitely, you know what, for $12 and I get 2 slippers out of it, perfect. Now, I have to say, I talked a bit about this on my last one with my cousin Tara. She has that yarn habit, and I went online and wanted to order some other yarn to make more slippers for my son. And so I ordered him this one here, this color. It's called Intergalactic Planetary, and which is a Beastie Boys song. All of her lines, she usually does about 6 in a colorway, and 6 different ones. And this one, so it will be like a TV show, or you know, a movie series, or a band, or something like that. And so this one was a part of like a Beastie Boys colorway. Love it. I think he's gonna really love those colors. And then while I was there, I love anything rainbow, obviously, if you know me. This one here is called LA Street Art. Look at that. Will those not make the best slippers? I can tell you those are gonna replace those slippers I just knit. With that cheap yarn, I'm gonna knit with these ones. Those are gonna be on my feet all the time. Love that. And then while I was there, I couldn't help but order some more sock yarn. So just 2 skeins. This one's here is called Nautical Fall. And I love the colors. It's a really nice like orange, aquamarine. It's got some like faded yellow in there. Love it. I think that would be a really, really beautiful sock. And then this one is very soft and gentle. It's called Listen Up, which is funny because the name's not so soft and gentle, right? Look at those colors. I actually, to be honest, I was on the fence and almost ordered enough for a sweater quantity of this. But I have a sweater I need to finish first. I was watching Microbiologist Makes. Do you guys watch her? Oh my gosh. She doesn't post videos too often, once a month, and then she went on a bit of a hiatus, and anyway, she's back. She's posting videos when she can, when she feels she has enough to share. And the amount of knitted garments she puts out is crazy. I started watching her the other night, thanks to Kim's recommendation, and I watched her 4 most recent videos, and I think she's finished like 4 sweaters or something like that, which makes me think I should really get on it. But my problem is the ones that I'm knitting in fingerling, and I'm bigger too, right? So fingerling, you know, larger size, it's gonna take forever, and it takes a lot of yarn. So I think my next garment I'm going to knit probably in a DK. And you know, even just looking at like Elizabeth Ann can stitch, right? She flies through her stuff as well, but a lot of the stuff she's knitting is a DK weight, and so you can fly through those sweaters. You can make a sweater in a month or 2, that's fine. But if you start doing it in a fingerling, it takes a whole lot longer. Speaking of knitting, you know what? I'm going to try out, if you are local in the Lower Mainland, on the 29th of January, Thursday of this week, I'm going to try out knots and hops. So if you're on Instagram, I'm not sure if it's knots and hops or something slightly different, so I'll put it here. But if you guys go follow them, they meet up at the Barrie Merchant, and you can have some drinks and do some stitching. So I'm going to go to my first one ever with my girlfriend Cassandra, and hopefully it's really fun. I think it will be good. I'm excited for it, and just kind of getting back into a little bit more knitting, right? I used to do a ton of knitting and spinning and that sort of thing, and I've done a lot of cross stitch in the last year, and I'm really feeling, you know, of course it's winter time, right? I'm feeling like I need to get back into the knitting. So I'm really excited for that. I'll let you guys know how it goes, and if you're around and you would like to pop in and you knit and you want to check it out, just send them a message on Instagram, and then that way they're able to reserve a seat for you as well. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be back next week with a Flosstubeversity of how to stitch in hand. And otherwise, in terms of cross stitch, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.